required. We're going to use coil springs. Groundman makes up the hand line. So if I screw up making up the hand line for Matt, Matt has to redo the competency. But the time is not, as soon as he goes up, time starts. His first foot touches the ground, time ends. If I'm still rolling up the hand line, it's not part of the time. Some talking points. Communicate with your groundman. Check your work before descending. Working position for the arm. He'll show you that. Ensure your second arm fits. Sometimes it doesn't. Rigging is the climber's responsibility. If I rig wrong, it's his fault. Handline operation. If I make a mistake, it's his fault. Good housekeeping. Keeping the tripping hazard as much as possible out of the way, although it's a hell of a tripping hazard. No gaps in the coil springs. I can get right here and look up at that coil spring and tell me if there's air gap in it. Maybe you didn't tighten your nut tight enough. And climber approves the hand line. The standard disqualifiers are working in the hole. When I go in the hole, I say in the hole. So only so he doesn't accidentally drop something on me. A lot of you might have been taught to put the arm like this and do your rigging, correct? Unacceptable. Climber depends on the groundman. If I have to tell him, or if I tell him what to do or about washers or this or that, it's a redo. Tool equipment is abused or dropped. Nuts or bolts fall, redo. You have to be able to follow the 9 climbing standards. I know, obviously, if you're over the time limit of 8 minutes and 30 seconds. Have your wrench ready. And since I'm going to want to loosen, right now, the big side is on tighten. If I pull the trigger with the big side facing it, that's tighten. So I'm not going to pull the trigger because I want to loosen those pin insulators when it gets to the ground. So now my wrench is ready to go. Sorry I took so long, Matt.
Oh, you're good.
So as he climbs up the pole, it's my job to make sure the hand line's good for him. A lot of times I'll take the hand line and I'll zigzag it across over here so it's easy when he goes up for him. When he gets up there, what he wants is he wants to hook up high. Hook up!
Alright guys, so yeah, when you guys get up there and this hand line gets hung, and you're the groundman, get that hooked up, because that's what he's going to need right away. Okay? You're going to start rigging that arm. And as a climber, I don't want to be waiting on my groundman because it costs me time. Okay, it's my competency. So, get that hook up as fast as you can. As soon as you get the side, get it up there. The second it's up here, I'm going to start rigging the arm. Okay, what you want to do, remember, literally pull it across the opposite side, right?
Out of hope.
Okay. What I do, I'll pull it like this, on the back. Okay, I'll pull it on the back side.
Well, check it out, guys. He'll do it 2 or 3 times.
I'll grab my hook underneath, and I'll trap it, facing my hook out like that. Does that make sense? Right there? And then that's what I'll put it in the hole. Right there. Okay, it looks funny up here, because right now my hook, or my rope's coming over the top of my hook right now. Okay? But when I go to send my arm down, it's actually going to end up going like this, right? So it doesn't want to pop my hook out of there. Right? So one more time. I'll pull it over, grab it underneath, trap it, so my hook's facing that way, the opening, and then I'll put it in my hole. Okay, and I'll pull out my slack right there. Okay, now my arm's ready to go. Then I'll just loosen it, and I'm going to send it down to John, okay?
Hello.
Put that down here so you guys can work on this stuff. Okay? I've seen a lot of people standing right here, trying to work like this. Take a step down. Make it easier on your guys' head. Okay? I'm going to loosen everything I can while I have my wrench in my hand. So I have to keep putting it in and putting it out of my belt, right? So, just efficiency, guys.
Make sure it's hand tight before you put that stuff away. That wrench.
Me, I put it back in my belt. John, he likes to put it right here. Either way, guys, it's fine. Okay, just find something that works good for you guys. Okay, mine's smaller. I'm always worried it's going to fall through on me, so I just always got in the habit of putting it into my belt.
I saw somebody do it about 2 or 3 terms ago, and I started doing it. Till then, I always put it away also.
It actually works really good. Okay.
But if it drops out, it's a redo. Now I'm ready. I know he does not want me to be pulling on this when he pulls the arm off. I'm giving him slack until then. When I see that arm come up, I'll be ready for it to be my line, and he'll say, take a pick, or your line. When the lineman says my line, he wants slack. When the lineman says your line, he wants me to be ready to take a pick.
Guys, sometimes these square washers get stuck in the arm. I don't know if you guys have had to deal with that yet or not. But once these get super tight, sometimes they'll sink in. Okay, and you got to get them out. What I do is I'll loosen my nut and everything, and I'll just whack it with my clines or something, and it'll pop off there. Okay, it'll get unstuck that way. Okay, spin back where you can work. Guys, you want to be, your work position, you want it right here in your chest. Yeah, you don't want to be working over your head. All right, so step up, get in your work position, pop your braces off, hold them up, and then I'm going to pull this right down onto my belt and feed it down to John. Okay? I'm going to be working this way, so I got my right leg locked and I'm ready to work, okay? What I'll do, I'll actually send this onto my belt and I'll tilt it sideways like that and fold my braces in more so they don't hang up on my belt when I send it down. Some of you guys are going to get them caught in between. Okay, you don't want that to happen. So just fold them flat so they're out of your way. Alright? And then my hand line, see how it's on top of this bolt right now? When I send this down, it's going to get caught back there, right? So just pull that underneath. Pull this one on that side so when I send it down, it can't hang up on that bolt.
And I'm chest to chest.
Okay? Always work like this, guys, so you can see each other. Alright? Coming down, John. Right here, guys. Look at my hand line. See how it fell? Perfect. Now, that's where, and you got to pay attention too. Sometimes this hook's going to want to pop out a little bit, and if it does, bang it in with your hand a little bit. Okay? Then send it down. Coming down.
Coming down. Yeah, as it comes down, he just wants to make sure it doesn't hurt him. I'm going to get in here right away, and I'm going to grab this lower insulator, and I'm going to pull it out here, out of the way. Notice my hand line is all on the cross-arm brace side. If I can help that, I try to do it. I'm going to get down here, get this hook off of here. Sometimes this arm can be a tripping hazard or be in the way. So I'll take it and kind of get it out of the way. You don't have to. I just don't want it to be a tripping hazard right now. I've already got my knot tying rope. I got all my rope on the cross-arm brace side. I'm going to pull in. I want to trap the rope that the hook points to. I'll come here. I like to put it on my foot, so I got room to go underneath. I go underneath, grab this rope, trap it. Then I have to pull out all my slack. Make sure that's done well, or if not, if you don't, sometimes when you go down there to do it, it tries to come out. So get that slack out, come all the way down. If this won't stay where you want it, you can always kneel on it. Tie your shoestring knot with just one loop. Tie the second part. Come on, baby. Now, I'm going to come up easy. If I come too hard, it either hits the pole and spins or goes past the pole and comes back, and this is going to spin multiple times. I want to work chest to chest. Coming up.
Guys, you can help him at it too. Get on that line.
At your feet, coming up.
Hold that.
Holding that.
Alright guys, when I get it to here where I want it, make sure you guys have a hold of this arm before you untie that thing. Okay, there's been a couple times already that guys got me to hold on to it and untie it up, flips over and falls down the hole. Okay? So one, you don't want to be working in the hole because if that hits you, it's not going to be good. Okay? Second, you got to have control of everything. Okay, so get a hand on it first and then untie it, okay? Take your rope and drop it straight below you and yell in the hole. Okay, in the hole.
In the hole.
Coming up.
Coming up easy.
Hold that. My arm.
Your line.
Okay, as soon as I say that, it's mine. He's completely off of it. Alright, I have control of this arm now. Set it on your belt. And if you guys rig this right, when I undo this, it should fall right into John, into that pocket, okay? Nothing should be on this side of my arm. Okay? See how that goes in? That's right. Okay, and some of you guys are going to do this today, where you're going to have one on this side. That's why you got to stand over there when you do your hand line, because when you go to tilt this arm up, you're going to trap it when you tilt it up, and you're going to trap your hand line on this side. So pay attention to that, right? I roll my arm sideways again on my belt a little bit just to put my braces down, and then I go at the land. Okay. You guys hold a little bit of pressure up on your arm, feed it on your bolt. The weight of the arm doesn't hang up on that bolt. It doesn't let your bolt go in on it. Okay? But if that does happen, send your bolt to go in on that. If you need to. Sometimes you can, if you just have enough to get one thread of a nut on there, you can use that. Otherwise, you got to reach around and hit it with your hammer. It's just wasting time. Okay? What you can do, just get your nut, a couple threads on it, right there.
No.
Pull that bolt back into you. Okay? So I don't have to reach around and tap it back in. And then hold a little bit of weight up on your arm. Push it in. Okay? That's all you got to do. Okay, and then drop down so I can work this and this together.
Listen, Pete. Hand line is in my feet and tripping me 24/7. Every single day. For the rest of my damn life. And it's never going to change. And I can already feel what he wants. He wants to put this side in over here first. If that's the case, I'll walk over here. Get it up to him. I have been sending up these insulators kind of close to each other. When you want to remove just one, it's nicer if they're a little bit further apart. So I spread them apart. Also, as a groundman, I didn't thread this on too much. If I take this nut and thread it all down to there, is that more work for him? I gave him about 3 or 4 threads. I have to admit, Matt, our cross arm pins, they're not the best anymore. The threads are getting all bust up. And they're really tight. So they're not when you touch them. Now, if that's the case, I don't mind if you take that cross arm and throw it away. Your line.
Right?
My line. Oops.
Oh, you failed.
Yes, he did. He just failed. I didn't fail. I'm just the groundman. He failed.
Alright guys, if you guys go to land these insulators, get up so you can see the top of this arm. Okay? You don't want to be down below trying to lift underneath. So step up, get out there, face your belt where you're working. Okay? Turn your belt a little bit and get out here.
That's the first time I've seen the second insulator fall off in years. Normally it doesn't. To tell you honestly, it doesn't.
Why did that happen?
Because he was a little bit too cowboy. He's rough. That's all I can think of. But I promise you, I've never sent one up and had the other one fall off when we've done that. Never. I have to admit, if you play with this too much, all it has to do, see how well it stays? For that one time it came off. Not very proper. Doesn't happen very often. It really doesn't.
Alright guys,
But
while
it
you're
does every
here,
once in a while.
guys, when you're tightening that, look at your washers. Make sure everything's square. Make sure your insulator's in line, okay, before you tighten anything.
Check out where I can put the second one. Oh, is that what happens?
See, it wasn't my fault.
You just killed him twice already.
It's alright. Doesn't matter. Everything I do is his fault. It is.
Right?
Sorry about that, Matt. Don't worry, when I get up there, you can let the hand line hit the ground and I'll redo it because I love you so much. If I let this hit, so my next job is right here. I'm just waiting. I don't hold on to both anymore. I hold on to one. Guess which one he should send it down on. Now he doesn't have to guess ever again, does he? So I'm not into holding them both. I only hold one. Because he's going to be up above holding the other side of it, isn't he? Now, if there was a big loop in there like this would be wrong of me. What I would probably end up doing is I get it kind of pulled tight, and when I know it's time for him to do it, and if I'm on a 55, as he comes down, I wiggle it for a reason, to slow its descent. Because when it comes down hard, it hits hard. Ready?
Run it.
Running.
Guys, while you're up here, that's what I mean. Take the extra second to make sure everything's square while you're tightening it, because then you know everything's right. You don't have to go back and check it, right? So the only thing I have to worry about is the one on the back. Okay, so take a step down, swing around, and you can look at it. Okay, if it's right, you're good. Head down. Okay, you gotta fix it.
Let's just say for some reason you send the block down on the other side. Would you fail that?
Good questions. Wait for his first.
Yep.
What's your question?
I said if he sends down the running blocks down the wrong side, would you fail?
That's poor risk, poor rigging. It's unsafe.
Yep.
That's why I only hold one. He has no choice but to send it down the correct one. So that's another good reason for it. And your question was?
The walks on the bottom, you want to make sure that's perfectly square, right?
Yep. Square up your arm. Okay. That's all. Right?
That one's redo.
How do I fix that?
Hey Matt, this was crooked, bro.
No? Okay.
Now, as a groundman, I'm seeing this as a groundman, and I want to tell him so bad. As soon as I tell him it's a redo, isn't it?
What about hand gestures? You don't have to like speak.
That's cheating.
Two taps.
And look how he fixes it, guys. Come over here and check this out.
Bring a screwdriver on it, guys. Tap it. Okay, you can hit these things where they're okay.
Sometimes if they're 25 years tight, it takes a little bit of pounding. So when you tighten it, take that extra second or two to make it perfect. Because here's the thing. You'll say, it's straight, that's not crooked. That is redo. Don't argue, right? Your only answer when told to re-challenge a competency is that all you want me to? Yeah, that's it. Or I thought you wanted me to cut off both my legs and both my arms and give them to you. No, I'd just like you to re-challenge that competency, please. Do you like this handline, brother? You want me to show it to the instructor? I like to make sure I ask him. Because if he doesn't like it, I'm not going to show the instructor. I'll redo it again. Now, if Matt and I are working together and I'm his groundman, he may come to me and say, hey, John, how good are you rolling up a hand? I said, kind of good. Pretty good. He says, well, let's stop right now before I even climb up there. Let me show you what I'm looking for. Let me see if I can help. Here's what I want when we're done. Okay. He may say, so how good are you at the rigging on this, John? I'm kind of okay. Okay, well, let me take the hand line, tie it to the pole, get my hook down here, and show you and give you training. Does that make sense? Because when your groundman makes a mistake, you pay the cost if you're the lineman. Does that make sense? Don't let that happen to you. So I'll be honest with him, because remember, when he goes up, when I go up and he's a groundman, I want what goes around comes around. I'm sure you know that's how life works, and I want to help him out as much as I can. I'm not going to say, yeah, I know, when I don't understand. Have him help me. He's probably better at it than me, so maybe the rigging or the hand line, and if he's going up, should he tell me his steps first so I know what I'm doing, so I understand what he wants? That might be a great thing to communicate about. What do you want, Matt, and how do you want it? So I can make your life up there as easy as possible. So I had about Umpteen cross arms changed out this morning. Every single one. I says, I want you to tell me right now. Grade your groundman from 1 to a 10. Maybe a 4 or a 6. A lot of 4s and 6s. Well, I need practice at groundman skills. I thought I was pretty good, but I wasn't efficient enough. I wasn't quick enough. I had to think. So a groundman will make or break you. That's what I found out this morning. What did you find out?
That's what I was just gonna tell you guys. The groundman will kill you on this comp.
Yeah, you killed them twice, Tom.
I killed him twice.
So just speaking to that, earlier this morning, Cody over here was doing his in over 9 minutes, right? And I told him, I said, the next time we do it, I'm gonna jump in and be your groundman just to show him. And we shaved off 2 minutes off of his time, and he ended up doing it in 7:30. So that's what I'm saying. Is your groundman can kill you on this stuff. So be efficient on the ground too, because it's his comp, and you don't want to slow him down. He should never be waiting on you on the ground, ever. So get that stuff up to him, get it right, and be ahead of him. Have those insulators up before he's even done with that arm. Have that arm rigged up. Get it up to him as fast as you possibly can. Don't dilly-dally on the ground. Get it up there.
Oh my God, look what you have, a yellow one.
Keep going.